Welcome back to the SQL interview question series, and this is the third part. So if you have not seen the previous two, please see that because they were important. And now we are beginning with question 11. So this is what is normalization is in SQL. Now this is a very elaborate question, but just to give you a brief of what is normalization. So it is a process wherein you organize and structure your data, your relational databases. Why? Now, this is very important. These two terms reduce redundancy and improve data integrity. You really have to remember this keyword, which is redundancy. So, normalization is done to reduce the duplication in your database. Okay, so that is the term for redundancy. So, you will reduce the redundancy to improve the data integrity. The reason is that redundancy, with duplicate values, firstly, it consumes a lot of space. There's a lot of ambiguity, a lot of confusion, because if one data, if you update just one table, another table, the same table does not gets updated. One person is working on another one is working on this. There's a lot of confusion. So apart from taking space, confusion, there's also a lot of time and effort which goes into solving these problems. So you lose the focus of on focusing on your core task, rather than you get caught up in this improving the data quality of it. So normally there are various normalization levels like 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, BCNF, etc. They address specific types of redundancy. There are specific rules for all these normalizations, and if they are followed, then you achieve like 1NF. If another rules are followed, it is 2NF, and so on. So basically, like up till 3NF we follow, and more than that, if database has been more normalized, then it sometimes becomes complex. If you normalize a lot, it can become complex. So after 3NF, it's fine. Okay. And that is also very difficult to achieve because data is very messy. So yes, that is about normalization. It's just a very brief and crisp description, but just to give you an overview, you can prepare more on it. Now coming to aggregate and scalar, another question. What is aggregate and scalar function in SQL? This is also an important function. Okay. And if you have aggregate and scalar function, why do you need a window function? Okay. So we'll deal with this also. So aggregate function, they perform calculation on a set of values and they return a single value. For example, sum. So when you have got various values, you will add them or average them, do the average. So they you perform on a set of values and you get one single value. Okay. So average will be 30. Okay. Uh, so the average of some would be like 60, and so you get a single value of this. Now, what are the different aggregate functions? It's sum, average, count, min, max. So we'll see this in our SQL Server. How do we implement this? And generally, they are used with group by clause. This is very important. Okay, you use the group by clause when you're using the aggregate function in SQL. Yeah, this we always forget in interviews, to use the group by function. Whenever you use an aggregate function, you will always use group by function, always. Otherwise, it will throw an error. Okay, this is very important. Another, now coming to the next function, is scalar function. They operate on a single value and they also return a single value. Okay, like upper, lower, length, concat, round. So these are the scalar functions, right? So this is important because they can tell you, give an example of an aggregate function. Okay, so let's see an example. Okay, now this is the employee table that we have created in the previous videos also. So here I have not given the name, I have just taken A, B, C, D, E, and let's just check this table. So let me select all from our table, that is employee 1. Okay, and we've got here 4 columns and 5 rows. sorry, 4 columns and 5 rows, yes, right? So employee ID, name, salary, and department. Now we have to perform what? Aggregate function. Let's perform aggregate function. So what have I done is simply what you write here, select sum of salary, okay, as total salary from employee 1. So it is giving me the total salary. Similarly, what you can do, you can also write here, suppose I can also write here average, okay. So what I can do here, I can write here average of salary, right? And instead of total salary, let's just give me salary average from employee 1. So this will give me the average salary of all the employees, है ना? So this is the 64,000 is the average salary, okay. These are aggregate function. I'm simply aggregating, okay. Now let us come to one of the scalar functions, okay. So for commenting, we will use the double dash, and here it is select, okay. Select employee name. Now since this is given in uppercase, I'm just using the lower name, okay. So let's take the lower name and run this code. So you can see here that employee name has been converted to the lower name, the lower numlock, rather than the capital casing. Alright. Now another thing is about window functions. Since we have already covered it in the second series, I will spend less time on this. So window function. What are window functions? Window functions, and how is it different from the aggregate functions? Why do we need window function? So they are used for performing advanced analytical tasks, okay. This has to be said that we use it for advanced analytical tasks when detailed row analysis and comparisons across rows are required, okay. When you want detailed analysis, generally when traditional aggregate functions, they fall short in providing necessary insights. When they do not give you the desired results that you want, you will use the window functions, right? So some common window functions that we use is rank, dense rank, row number. This we have already used, okay. Some, it will give you the sum, over, average, lead, lag. So you, a rolling average, this will give you, right, sum of, this will give you the cumulative sum, not only sum. And lead and lag, they are basically used for getting the values, like if for example in stock exchanges, or in some of when you want to compare the results, suppose there is 20, 10, and suppose 25. So lag will give you what? The above value, okay, the below value, right, the value below it. And lead will give you the above value. So here this will be the lead, right, and the lag will be the lower values, right. 20, here it's 10, and here it's 15. So this is lag, how much it is leading, how much it is lagging. So depending on the industry and the data, you will use these functions, okay. Lag, lead in finances, in ATM transactions, and so on. Okay, so how it is defined? So window function is defined the over clause. This is very important. You will always define, this is a syntax, okay. You define a window function, then you have this over, this function over, and then you would specify order by or partition by, whatever. Then window functions, they are used for what? Analytical operations like running, running totals, ranking, percentiles, lead, lag analysis, and so on. So for detailed analysis, you are using window functions. So now let's come to our analysis and see the window functions, okay. All right. So we've done it in the previous series. I would recommend dense and dense rank. Please go through it. So in window function again, we'll go with the same table, and I've selected employee ID, employee name and salary, and I've just taken just row number, and we know that it will assign a unique number or ID to each of the rows. So I'm just getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's all. Row number, and this is the syntax over order by salary descending according to descending order from highest to lowest by salary, and I'm given this rank, salary rank. So it is given me the row number, right? And also arrange the salary, right? So it is giving the two tasks, arranging the salary in descending order and also giving it a serial number. All right. Okay. So now let us go to another important question, and that is order of execution in SQL. So now this is asked like what is the order of execution? How do you execute? So you might, say it's select first, because firstly we write select. Last sometimes we write from, right? We write group by, we write where, right? So there's a lot of confusion what comes when. So this is the ideal order actually. First the column, or you can say the table, is selected. From where, what to do next, this is the filter. Okay, then after filtering, what should I do? Group by, right? Again a condition. Having is again for aggregation, right? We'll see this. And then is select. Okay, so see, select is coming after like the fifth position. And then order by, this is for ordering, right? You're sorting your data when you sort it, right? And then limit. Okay, so always do not never say select, it's always from, where, group by, having, select, order by, and limit. So please be watchful when you're asked this question. Okay, all right. So now let's see the execution of this. How do you execute it? I've selected department, and this is aggregation that I'm performing. Average salary, given it an aliasing, that is the column name, and employee ID. Okay, from employee 1. So this will be the last that will be executed. First from and group by. Suppose I choose this, it will give me an error. Okay, that it is not, this is not contained in an aggregation function. That means group by query runs first. So now what I'll do is, from group by, if I run this, it will run. Okay, this will not throw an error. Then again having, if I have to specify that group by department and employee ID where average salary is greater than or having average salary greater than 60,000. So I, instead of where, I will use having, because this is a integer number. Okay, and here they have group by department and employee ID and giving me the average salary which is greater than 60,000. And now since I want the ordering on descending order, highest salary to come first, so I will order by, and this is how it is executed. Okay, so the order by will come in the end, right? So this is the order of execution, and we have seen it in practice also. You can type it, you can take the screenshot of it and practice this. Okay, all right. Now the last one is operators. What are operators in SQL? Explain with examples. That is also they ask. What are operators? So operators, they're nothing but they're just symbols or keywords that perform operations on one or more expression or values. Okay, so you give them some operations and they will be performed on those values. Arithmetic operation, we know it's plus, minus, into, divide, right? Comparison is less than, greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to, equal to. Logical are what? And, and, or, not. Concatenation is plus. Like is, so in SQL you've got like, okay, like percent a percent, or percent a percent. What does this mean? Actually this means the sequence. If the name starts with a, name ends with a, whatever you're giving, this is means it's coming in between. Okay, in, so we use in operator whether it is in this or not, between, some numerical value, is null, not null. So these are the operators. in SQL. Now let's see an example of each. Okay. All right. So now let's go to the operators. Again, we are using the same column, that is same table, employee 1. Now the arithmetic operators. Now suppose, what does this query mean? Okay. So I am just increasing the salary by 1.1, okay, of those who are in HR department, right? So those who are in HR department will get a salary hike, and I'm selecting employee ID, employee the salary and the increased salary. That's all I want. So here I can see the original salary and I can see the increase in the salary, especially from the HR department. Okay, not any other department. This is the arithmetic operation that I performed. Okay, into. Now comparison will be what? Now I want simply the salary which is greater than 60,000. Give me all those employees whose salary is greater than 60,000. This is a comparison operator. Okay, so I got just two results, 3 and 4. Logical is AND, right? So here I am specifying two conditions. When the employee is in sales department and the salary is greater than 65,000. Give me that. So that is D. It's 80,000 and is in sales and the salary is greater than 65,000. Okay. Now coming to the like operator. Here it is where employee name like A percentile. That means in the beginning A should come. So that's just A only. Okay. If you have a big data set and A in the starting of various names, then you will be given those names. Right. Now in. How do you use in? Simply select from employee where department in HR or sales. Okay, this is how you read it. So it is giving you HR or sales and the department in this. This is how you can specify this. Okay, now concatenation. This is very interesting here. Now for concatenating a string, let me show you the output of this. Here it is giving me employee name and employee salary together, but employee salary was in int. So firstly we had to cast it or convert it into varchar. Okay, so this is, as you can see, the parenthesis. So one string is this and another is this plus. So I casted salary as varchar. That's why it has been concatenated as employee name, and this is the name of the column as employee info from employee 1. Okay, this is concatenation operation. If you want to perform, add two columns into one. Then is or is not. Now in this employee table there is nothing, I would say no null values. So here I just specified where department is not null, so it will return the same value because there is no null values. Okay, now between operator and another operator, I can simply write here where salary between 60,000 and 70,000. Return all those employees whose salary is between 60 to 70,000, and I will run this. So this is only one, between 60 to 70,000, and that's in sales, right? So this is between operator. So this is what operators look like and the examples look like in my SQL server. Okay, so you can practice this and crack the interviews because the basics have to be clear. The basics, they will form the pace, how the interview goes. So if you can answer a few basic questions, then they can go on to the advanced level also. So this is it for this series, and let me know in the comment section which all questions do you want, you're facing problem, and I'll come with those series. Till then, thank you and happy learning.